Good morning, gang. Happy Monday morning. So we're back at it. And fortunately, we had a rainstorm here for an hour or so yesterday. They were saying all night. It wound up an hour or so. But we got a decent amount of rain, enough to at least water the gardens, water the grass, that sort of stuff. So that was good. And if you hear, I'm starting to seem to get this crap that Mrs. P had, but we'll push on through. All right. So, anybody else notice lately that the internet is starting to get a little panicked, I guess, if you will? And I'm not talking about Roe v. Wade or anything like that. I'm talking about the prepper community. I'm talking about homesteaders. I'm talking about gardeners, whatever it would be. I mean, there's a lot of channels that I'll go through and watch and see what's going on. And I, like you guys, watch the ones that aren't the world is going to end crap, all this breaking news, emergency update crap. No, okay, sorry. Breaking news, hey, the Supreme Court made a decision, okay? Breaking news, food prices are up. Sorry, nice try. But, I watched one yesterday and I got a kick out of it where we were being lectured to by a YouTuber saying, you don't need to worry about planting food for food shortages or whatever. Plant your garden for fun. He lost my subscription real quick. But, you know, no, and I'm not going in there and announcing it or whatever it would be. But you look at what's going on with food prices, and the USDA came out on Friday with the monthly update on what to expect out of food prices. It's freaking scary, okay? And I'll just give you this real quick. All food prices are expected to increase another 7.5 to 8.5%, your overall grocery bill, okay? Pork prices up between 7 and 8. Beef prices between 11.5 and 12.5%. Fish between 8.5 and 9.5. Poultry between 13 and 14. Egg prices between 19.5 and 20.5. I mean, it's just over and over. Dairy 10.5 and 11.5. Fruits and vegetables 7.5 to 8.5. Fats and oils 14 to 15. Sugar and sweets between 6.5 and 7.5. Cereal and bakery 10 to 11. This is what the USDA is predicting, and kind of like how they figure out numbers, they're way on the low end. Okay, so if you take this average, all this stuff out, it's probably somewhere around a 10% increase in food in the next 6 months, guys. Okay, is your boss going to give you a 10% pay raise? Doubtful. But even if he does, that doesn't do any good, because how does the company that you work for pay that salary? Well, they got to sell product, right? So what do? So they raise the price of product. Well, all that is a vicious circle on inflation being more and more and more and more and more. So, the price has to come down, and we've talked about many times. Supply and demand. The supply has to go up, the demand has to come down for food prices to come down. How are we going to make the demand come down? Produce our own, okay? The supply will go up because you're growing your own. The demand will go down because you're not going to the store. So not only when you are growing your own food are you helping yourself and eating more fresh and maybe more varieties and stuff, you're also, believe it or not, you're helping the economy, okay? Somebody's got to do it, because God knows politicians can't, right? But, we've all seen the stories on the World Food Bank and everything saying, that famine rates going up, et cetera, et cetera. And we know that. There's, what, I forget, 8 million people or something like that worldwide I forget the exact number, but are famine conditions. I mean, that's, no food. But, story out of the BBC this morning on the cost of living in the UK. People are cutting back on groceries now because they can't afford to buy food in Great Britain. Okay? UK inflation up at 9.1%. Their inflation rates have hit a 40-year high. You start looking at this, we're going back to everything that we had during the Jimmy Carter era. All the crap that Jimmy Carter left us with when Reagan came in. And, Reagan turned the economy around. We had 20% interest rates. We had oil crisis and everything like that under Carter. All right, we had to straighten this out. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Sorry, yes, like I said, I think I'm getting this sick. But, when people have to cut back on eating, and not saying in the United States we couldn't eat a little less, at what our obesity rate is, and, I'm not going to deny that I could lose a few pounds as well. Working on it, lots more vegetables. But when people have to start cutting back on food because they can't afford it, that should wake people up. You go back to World War II and Victory Gardens. You go back to the Great Depression. I mean, how did some people eat? You ate what you grew. And if you didn't grow anything, you didn't eat anything. Because, there's some things that you can cut out of your life. Hey, you know what? I'm not going out for that latte at Starbucks. Hey, you know what? We're not going out to dinner on Friday night, or I'm not going to the bar on Saturday, or, whatever it would be. Sure. But the mortgage doesn't change. The car payment doesn't change. The car insurance doesn't change. The electric bill doesn't change. And those are things that you have to keep paying. And there's only so much money. And when gas prices are going up and food prices are going up, something's got to give. And when it comes to the point where what's got to give finally is food, that tells you everything you need to know about what we're heading. To hear people say, don't worry about this, there's not a food problem, that's delusional, okay? And I'm sorry, I love watching other channels. I love hearing other people's opinions and things like that, even if they differ from mine. Maybe I learned something. But to come out and be complete head in the sand, to tell people that, nah, it's not, just go out and grow in your garden for fun. I enjoy being out in my garden, no question. But to tell people that there's no food crisis coming, that is completely irresponsible. My comment to people that are saying that, go apply for a job in Joe's administration. You'd fit in perfect. Pinball out.